Hey everyone, welcome to the Ikigai Essentials podcast. I'm Oliver Ike, here along with my partner here, Bill Wang, as always. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about an article that I came across. It is about a book. So it's a book written by Tali Sharot and Cass Sunstein. It's a book called "Look Again: The Power of Noticing What Was Always There." So the title of the article, which kind of consolidates some of the findings in the book, is "Why We Get Bored of the Best Things in Life and How to Fight It." If you're not subscribed to our newsletter, we're going to include a link so that you can read the full article there, or you can also check out the book if you want as well. But basically, the article talks about kind of getting bored with things in life and becoming, and the word they use is habituating to certain parts of our lives. So I think we're going to start with kind of talking about things in our personal lives and how we've experienced these things. So, kick it over to Bill first. So, kind of based on kind of the article and what it's about, what does it bring to mind for you?
Good morning, everybody. As Oliver introduced, Bill Wang back again. Appreciate everybody listening. So, one thing that caught my attention here is I'll actually read it here from the article is habituation is a phenomenon by which we respond less and less to things that are constant or that change very gradually. And to be honest, this really resonates with my life. I was telling Oliver before we got started recording here is I have a very addictive personality. I think I've talked a little bit about it in the past, substance abuse, addiction problems, whatnot. But that's been my life. And I get in these funks all the time, to be honest with you. Like one thing I'm really passionate about is golf. I'm not that good of a golfer. I still like going out there and playing 18 holes, is having fun. But I ended up, setting up a little golf simulator in my garage. Got a golf mat, a SkyTrack golf simulator, impact screen, all that stuff. I just used to go out there and practice all the time. And then at night before bed, I'd watch all these golf videos, learn different things, swing techniques and whatnot. So I get really addicted to things easily, but I really enjoy golf and I'm passionate about it. But as Oliver mentioned, with this title, I'm just like a regular person per se. I get bored easily. It gets to a point where I'm like either frustrated with my practice or golf analysis. But at the end of the day, I just get bored. I just don't know how to get out of that funk. And I know given my personality, especially, with this addictive personality, I think all the time that I want to take on a new hobby. I want to try something different. But I know that if I do that, it's going to end in the same result. I'm going to get bored with that as well. So it's something that's really been challenging me over the last few years, just trying to figure out how to get out of that funk, how to get back into, that same passion and admiration that I've had for this hobby that I have. It kind of reminds me of everybody talks about once you get married, everything's great. You have you go through the honeymoon phase. You're happy with your partner. You're laughing, traveling, having fun with that person. But after a year or two, you're kind of out of that honeymoon phase and it's just a daily routine. You kind of get bored of it. So I'm really trying to figure this out on my own too. And I'm hoping with this discussion, we can kind of, collaborate and find those ways and solutions to get back into that routine and be happy and excited about those things.
So what do you do? Like, I guess in your marriage, Bill, like, what do you do to kind of combat that? Because I think, when you're married for a long time, sometimes you can kind of feel like if you like go into like a little bit of a rut
Yep.
or if you disconnect a little
Yep.
bit, like, do you notice those things? And if so, like, what do you do to kind of shake things up or keep things
I'll
going?
be honest. I notice it all the time. Marriage is not easy. My marriage is not perfect. There's times I want to hang out with my wife. I'm excited to go out with her. But to be quite honest with you, there's a lot of times where I'm bored. A lot of times where, for lack of better words, I'm annoyed of her, to be honest with you. But one thing that I've been trying to do, I haven't been doing a good job of it. I need to do better. I know that, but try to mix it up. It's challenging with two kids, 10 and 6-year old, with their schedule, school activities, and all of that. They consume a lot of our time. But one thing I've been really trying is spontaneous dates, right? Maybe on a Friday night. I'm fortunate enough where my mother in law lives with me. So we have free babysitter. So I take advantage of that. I'll text her here and there and be like, hey, let's go out to dinner. If we don't have time for dinner, let's go out for lunch. Let's go out and grab a quick drink or a quick coffee or whatever. Just a spontaneous date, just to try to mix it up. Um, that seems to work, but I think I just need to do a better job at making that a little bit more consistent over time.
Yeah, no, that's good. Like I remember like my brother who's been married for a long time. So like when they had their first kid, yeah, they used to go like, out for like dinner, date night, or sometimes like take weekends, without the kids. And I was always like, man, like, what are you guys doing? Like, you got, you gotta, you have kids, you have responsibilities. Like, you can't just
Sure.
dump them on like their parents or the wife's parents or anything like that. But then as time goes by, like as you experience all these things on your own, now like in hindsight, you're like, oh, they actually had it right. That's actually what you need to do in order to maintain like a good relationship is to make you a bad parent. Like you're able to actually be a better parent if you can take time away from your kids and spend time, with your partner and building up that maintaining those relationships and being able to bring that level of enthusiasm that you get from date night or like a weekend trip, bring it back. You'll be a better parent once you get back from that. So
For sure.
yeah, it's
Yeah, I
kind of
was
hard to see those things in the moment.
for sure. I was just talking to somebody, every week I try to play basketball with a group of dads, just kind of have some fun, just get a little bit of exercise out. But we just had this conversation a few weeks ago where it's like we're having trouble scheduling these basketball outings because the kids consume all of our time. We kind of said something that one person said something that actually really made a lot of sense to me. It's like, it's not our schedule anymore. It's like our kids' schedule now. They have school activities, sports events, music events, whatever. It's their schedule. Their schedule is our schedule now. And then we started talking a little bit more. It's like, is it selfish that we as parents want to have some of our own time? Some people said, yeah, just a little bit selfish. It's all for the kids, they're young, all that stuff. But majority of the folks kind of agreed that no, it's not selfish to think that way. Because at the end of the day, we need our time too. I'll be honest, when the kids are sleeping, that's the time when I watch golf videos, when I watch basketball highlights, when I catch up on articles and whatnot. I feel bad sometimes or guilty sometimes not doing kid stuff, even though they're sleeping. But that's what calms me down. And I see my wife doing that too. She'll have, maybe a glass of wine at the end of the night and just kind of be in the garage or in her room or in the office just by herself for 15, 20 minutes. At first I would get kind of annoyed. Like, what are you doing up there? Like, the kids are calling you, the house is a mess. Let's work together to figure this out with the kids. But over time I realized that everybody needs their time alone. And that's kind of the what I've been applying to our marriage too, is I realize that we kind of need our alone time too. So that variety and spontaneous dates kind of help overcome a lot of these um, thoughts of boredom and whatnot, especially in our marriage.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Yeah, because I so like I gravitate towards this article a lot because it really resonates kind of with like my daily life. Where I think for me, like I'm at a point where I can almost guess to a T what my day is going to look like every day, which is very
Same here.
depressing. So like I go to the gym every morning, and then I would say like I just actually just met. So I have like weekly. Right now, I'm doing weekly meetings with a therapist. So I talked to my therapist yesterday about like having like a space for yourself or like time, like a safe place, like
Absolutely.
what is home to you, right? And I didn't. I didn't have an answer for him. Like I don't really have that. I think the closest thing that I have is the gym. So, I wake up at 4 every morning and then I go to the gym, and that's kind of like my time to kind of unwind and have some time for myself and not have to worry about, like cooking dinner or, cleaning or whatever, taking kids somewhere or whatever. So I think that is like my space to kind of do what I need to do and be alone with my thoughts.
Yep.
But then after that, I kind of know what my day is going to look like completely. So this article is really meaningful for me because I'm experiencing exactly what it's talking about. Like I'm completely kind of habituated to my daily life to the point where it's boring. Like every day
Yep.
is extremely boring. And like, how do you like get out of that? How do you get out of that rut?
Does that time in the gym at 4 or 5 in the morning help you get through your day?
Um, so I mean, it's like a habit. So the good thing about it, like I don't really go for the health benefits to be, which is kind of weird, I guess.
That makes
Um,
sense.
yeah. So I think that's like a side benefit. So like I just go there for a place to go every morning. That's kind of I go there and I feel good, like like chemically, like the endorphins and all that are firing. So you feel like good when you're doing it. But I'm not really going there just for like fitness purposes. Like that's just like that's a nice kind of benefit to it. Um, but I think
Makes sense.
maybe the nice thing about like working out is that I do something different every day I'm there. So I think that kind of plays into the article where there's variety in the workout that I do every morning. And maybe that's why that particular time of day is not boring for me. Whereas there's not really any variety after that.
Yep. That makes sense because, like I was telling you earlier, Oliver, is this, I actually started going back to the gym in the last couple months. I actually stopped for about a year. I got bored of it, to be honest with you. It was like the same routine, same workout, same people at the gym, same time almost every day I'd go, and just got bored of it. But I agree with what you said. And just like the article stated too, is I'm trying to make some variety into it. I hate cardio. I hate running. I hate working on my legs and lower body workout, but I'm actually trying it. It's painful. It's not fun, but it's actually bringing a little bit of spark back because I'm looking forward to that variety in life. One thing I was going to say is,
Yeah.
I used to laugh when people would say, "Oh, I'm in the man cave." I'd hear my
Yeah, I
friends,
think
whatnot, be like, "Oh, I'm hanging out in the
I don't know,
man
I
cave
think
playing video games
yeah,
or whatnot."
yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I mean the lucky thing for me is I actually love it. I actually love like working out. So
Yeah.
earlier I mentioned like the like getting in shape and like the physical health benefits are like, a nice addition. But I just do it because I love doing it. Like I love like lifting weights. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know a lot of people that feel the same way, but I go there just because I enjoy it. So I think I'm very lucky in that sense. So maybe there's a little bit of gratitude there, which makes it more enjoyable. I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, when we talk about habituation, you can see it play out as well in other situations. So like we were talking a little bit earlier about like it can cause you to kind of blow your life up a little bit if you're like extremely habituated to like your daily life and it becomes boring. Like I had this boss before who he would like basically like cause trouble, and I'm assuming there's other people that you've met like this where they would just like make problems just so that they would have something to do. They would create like this drama, and they would almost find joy from that, and then they would find out ways to kind of solve these problems that they
Yeah.
created. So I think that kind of plays into what we're talking about today. And I mean, you could see it. There's people in life at the grocery store that will just like cut in front of you or do things that like are very like confusing. And I think that
Yeah.
might play into it. They're just like looking for like something to like spark some kind of interest or activity or excitement or something in life. I don't know if you've seen that, Bill.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm laughing. I'm not laughing at what you said, Oliver. I'm not laughing at that person at all. I'm laughing because I feel like that's me too. There's so many times that my wife has told me, like, what are you doing? For example, like road rage or something like that, or I get annoyed of somebody just for the hell of it for no reason. I feel like I'm doing the same thing, to be honest with you. Now that I think about it, my wife would always tell me, she's like, why are you acting this way? If something's on your mind, don't take it out on something else. Or if you're bored in life, don't just try to cause drama and stir things up. So you asked if I may know somebody who's like that, similar to your ex boss, and that similarity. But I feel like that's kind of me. I kind of do the same thing. That's why I'm laughing. It's just maybe it's true. I'm just bored with whatever is going on in my life, and I just want a little bit of drama. I want a little bit of excitement in my life. That's probably why I do those things that I do. It's funny in hindsight now that I think about it. It really is very similar to my behavior at times, and I think that's because I get bored easily about these different things in life.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think yeah, it sounds like we've all kind of experienced it, and I know we were talking a little bit about like I mean, you see like these political divides and all these other things in the news, and it made me wonder a little bit like if this kind of plays into that at all. So it's a broad, big topic, so we'll kind of leave that alone. But um, the final piece of the article and the book is about like how do we overcome that? How do we appreciate the good things in life like again? So like one of the things they talked about is so dishabituation.
Mm-hmm.
So you basically you take a break from you remove yourself from the environment, for a period of time, and then you come back to it, and then you when you come back, you usually appreciate whatever it is that you habituated to in originally. So I mean, have you experienced anything like that, Bill?
I have. Think about my marriage is I hear all the time from friends, family, whatnot. They're like, "Hey, I'm going on a guys trip or whatnot. We're going to, I don't know, Vegas, for example, for the weekends, just for a guys trip." Again, before I used to think it was kind of silly to do that. I'm like, every time I travel, I kind of travel with my family, I travel with my wife and all that. But now it all makes sense. Like, you need that little break. You need to kind of dishabituate yourself and disconnect yourself from the situation you're in, because when you come back, you kind of feel refreshed, you feel recharged, you feel like you get your mojo back. I haven't done that recently, but I've talked to friends where, hey, let's plan a golf outing in Arizona or Palm Springs or somewhere where it's a nice golf destination. So I'm starting to actually see those benefits, and I actually agree that dishabituation and going down that path could bring that spark back when you return, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's yeah, it's interesting. Something else they mention in the article, like actually, I don't know if it was mentioned in the article, but it may have been like a thought kind of based on what the article says. But in terms of like taking yourself away from something and
Sure.
intermittent satisfaction is kind of what they talked about. But so like one thing they kind of mentioned was binging like a Netflix show versus like taking, like a lot of shows now are like a new episode every week, like getting more enjoyment with like that break between episodes rather than binging it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I always binge everything, but I'll try it next time.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I think, yeah, I think I understand that. Like, I don't know if you've seen The Last of Us, but that show was on Max. It was only once a week, and that, yeah, I mean, you kind of look forward to it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing to look forward to, right? If you're just gonna watch, I mean, it's like an autoplay now on Netflix, right? There's no, I don't even have to think about it. You just play the first episode, and it'll take you through all of them if you don't stop it. So, yeah, I wonder, they don't mention it in the article, but I wonder if like anticipation plays into this as well. If you're habituate to a situation, there's no anticipation anymore,
That makes sense.
which can like elevate and heighten like pleasure or satisfaction. So like maybe like if you go on your your guy's trip to Vegas or whatever, and you're eating all this like crappy food like every night, you may think maybe you feel like excited about going home and having something that your wife makes like soup or whatever her
Yeah,
specialty is, and then well you can enjoy it that much more like once you have that anticipation of eating something like home cooked, for example, and actually being in that situation and being grateful for it. I'm wondering, I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here if that plays into this phenomena at all.
I think it it probably would because the way I look at it is you start appreciating those things more. Like every day we're home with the kids and family and all that. You see them every day, right? But then when you're away from them, even for like 24 hours, you kind of start appreciate those things more because they're not right by you. You miss
Yeah,
those things.
yeah. No, it's tough though. Yeah, I wonder. I mean, what do you think about like appreciating things like in the moment? Like my kids are
Hmm.
basically all teenagers now, not quite, but I mean, like your parents always tell you, like when your kids are little, everyone you come across in the street are like appreciate it now because it goes fast, and
Absolutely.
I mean it does, but like like how I don't know, are there things that you do to try to like keep you in the moment and appreciate things like as they
Yeah.
happen?
Yeah. I'll be very upfront in this podcast discussion we're having today, Oliver. Is you're aware of my situation. We've been on a little break. I had a little family emergency that happened. My father actually just passed away on May 26th. I won't go into too much details now, but that kind of not kind of it really made me appreciate life. Um, I was telling Oliver earlier is I was supposed to go to Taiwan with my family. We're supposed to leave on Monday, June 3rd. We're supposed to be here for 3 weeks. We have plans to go to the beach, eat all this good food, see all my family, have a great time. But we had to cancel it because of my dad's situation. And then my wife started saying, we should reschedule it. I was like, yeah, I want to reschedule, but my heart's not really into it. I don't know if I want to go. If we reschedule, I have to pay a little bit more for the extra airfare and all that because it's summer and a lot of people are traveling over there during their summer break. But my wife actually brought up a good point is, you know, our kids are young right now at an age where they actually want to hang out with us. I know Oliver's kids are teenage, a couple of them are in high school and all that, but my daughter's almost 11. In about 2, 3 years, she's going to be in a similar situation as Oliver there is. They might not want to hang out with us anymore. They might not want to go on vacation with us. They want to go on vacation with their friends. They'd rather be at home with their friends on FaceTime or doing whatever that they do as teenagers. So that kind of really made me open my eyes and realize that life is short. You have to appreciate these things. I started thinking about my dad's life. His whole life, he just sacrificed and worked 6 days a week, 10 hours a day for my mom and my sister and I, for the family. Cleaned out his closet a little bit last week when I was in town after he passed. I started noticing he had all these new sweaters, shirts, clothes, whatever it may be that we bought him for his birthday and Christmas over the years, but he just never wore them. He just never used those items because he was always just holding on to it and just making sure that the family was taken care of. So the point I'm getting to is, that really opened my eyes to realize that life is short. You have to appreciate these things. Even if it is spending a little bit extra money and going to Taiwan when it's hotter in July, take advantage of those things because, anything can happen tomorrow or next year or whatnot. So that really kind of opened my eyes to appreciate those things. And it's all related to kind of what we're talking about is you get bored in life, but figure out those ways to mix it up, find the variety, take a break here and there, try a different routine to kind of get that spark back in life.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I don't. It doesn't need to be like a big thing either.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, so I have a dog that I take on walks obviously every day, and just like going down like a different street makes
Absolutely.
I found that to make a difference. Like just being like in an unfamiliar situation taking up a new hobby, like just trying something that you've never done before. I mean, it's good for your brain. And so that there's a low entry point. I mean, it can be like moving to a different city or even like a different country. It can be something big like that, but it could be something as simple as like taking like a cooking class, or
Absolutely.
yeah, or maybe like taking like a art class at the community college, or try to make a new, like making a new friend, or like maybe just like texting someone that you've never hung out with that
Yeah,
you have always wanted to. Um, so just like doing like like little things to kind of, and doing those little things will help you kind of appreciate the things that you do have.
for sure. Like I was talking about my golf passion, right? It's a luxury where I can just walk down to my garage, turn on my SkyTrack and practice for 30 minutes. But I got bored of it. So what I did was I drove 10, 15 minutes down the road to a driving range and tried it out. That was fun. I was hitting balls outside. The weather was nice. Met a couple people, chatted with them. It just kind of added a little spark. Another thing is, there's some folks that I met through the kids' school, the community, whatnot. They're not necessarily people that I would hang out with, but they're cool, nice people. I text them and say, "Hey, let's go play golf one of these days." I thought it was going to be, kind of boring, but it was actually pretty fun. I got to know them a little bit better, met some new friends, went to a new golf course. Just those little things that kind of really help me get over that hump.
Yeah, and it can be like other things too, just like giving it helps, makes you feel good too.
Absolutely.
It's like take a friend out for lunch, something simple like
Absolutely.
that. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
just see how happy they are when you offer to pay or when you pay.
definitely.
Donating stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things that you can do, and I feel like even just like talking about these things is helpful, because then you can start thinking, about things that you can do, how you can shake things up, and try something new. And so for you, Bill, do you, we always like to put out little challenges at the end of these episodes. Is there anything that you think maybe you could like try, or different changes that you could make to kind of just habituate a little bit going forward?
Yeah, I would say I want to try harder to find that variety. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I pretty much took a year off from the gym. Now that I'm back in the gym, I'm trying different workouts. But personally, I want to try different things. I hate cardio, but I want to try to challenge myself to maybe start with running a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, or something like that. So, really, my challenge for myself and maybe for others as well who's listening is find that different variety, try different things. They don't have to be big. You don't have to move to a new state. You don't have to spend tons of money, just little things to try to mix it up a little bit. I think that'll definitely benefit me, and hopefully it'll benefit others as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, something that I've been planning. So I'm gonna take like motorcycle lessons.
Man, I want to
So
join you.
yeah. What's that?
I want to join. I want to try. I want to try
Yeah.
that too.
So there's yeah. So like you can get your license. There's like classes that you could do like through Harley Davidson.
Man,
But
I've been
I
looking
just
into
found
that
I just
too.
found this guy like online, where you could do like a private lesson. So yeah, I'm gonna do it in early July. That's kind of my thing that I'm gonna give a go over the summer, and it's kind of something I've always wanted to do, but I've
No,
never
I'm
prioritized. So
I'm serious,
that's kind of
Oliver.
my plan.
Maybe I'll drive up to LA and join you because if my wife, I've been talking about getting a motorcycle while my wife's hesitant about it, but if I take classes and all that, I'm definitely interested in that. That's a great idea.
Yeah. So yeah, this is definitely something we could do. I wanted to do like the private lesson first, because
Yeah, absolutely.
if you do the test, then you got to like buy the helmet and all the stuff like you talked about earlier, like
Right.
spending all this money on stuff that ultimately you may or may not use later on. So I thought I'd try, because he provides like the helmet and the bike and everything. So
Nice.
give that a go, and yeah. So just kind of trying things that you've always wanted to do, and there's always an excuse not to do it, but there's always an excuse to do it. So
Sure. And I think you kind of hit that message there is try those things in life because life is short. I'm not saying something's going to happen tomorrow, but anything can happen tomorrow, right? Just going out there and trying it. Of course, be safe and all of that, but just go out there and try it. Life's too short not to.
yeah. I mean, yeah, you definitely are experiencing that right now. But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of our message for today. So if you're listening out there, and you feel like you're in a rut, or you feel like your everyday life is very routine and there's no excitement, so if you see if you can kind of break out of your comfort zone a little bit and
Absolutely.
try, add something new, however small it may be, and see if that helps.
Yep. And, I think you mentioned this too earlier, is it could be as simple as call or text a friend you haven't talked to in a year, right? Ask him to go out for coffee or whatever it may be. That as simple as that, it could just be as simple as that, and that'll help out. There'll be benefits around.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, yeah. Before we end this episode, any last thoughts, Bill?
No, as you mentioned, we'll get this out in a newsletter. I think this is a great article, a great read. But our goal really is, we want to help others. We want to help ourselves too. There's a lot of chaos going around in this world, but at the end of the day, we still have to continue doing what we're doing. We have kids, we have families, and hopefully this helps everybody.
Right. I mean, yeah. So like you mentioned, to close things out, life is short, right? So why not
Yep.
enjoy this short time we have on Earth? So yeah. So thank you, everyone. Please subscribe and leave a review if you can. Yeah. Otherwise, we hope to have a new episode out next week. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate the time.